Hello, everyone, and welcome to another live match preview show on Football Talk Podcast. My name is Ozzy, and I'm your host for this evening. We are one step away from claiming the Premier League title as we face Tottenham this Sunday at 4:30 p.m. So it's going to be a monumental game for us all, as we only need either a point or a win to secure our 20th Premier League title. So it's definitely going to be a day of celebration. Some fans will suggest to say that we're maybe like taking a step too far because we're disregarding our opponents, which of course we'll discuss in the show. But the way Liverpool have been playing in recent weeks, you have to favour Liverpool to get something out of the game. It's at home, so that's helpful as well. And of course, it's a nice feeling that we actually can celebrate with the fans as well. Because of course, when we won the league title in the 2019-20 season, we were going through COVID, so fans weren't able to gather around and celebrate together. This time around, it'll be completely different. So, should be a special occasion for us this Sunday. Now, in terms of our opponents, the reason why you know fans are expecting us to get something out of the game is because of Tottenham's recent form. They've lost 4 out of their last 5 games, so clearly not in great form at all. In terms of their league positioning, they are 16th, so literally 2 positions away from relegation. Now, of course, their status is secured. They are miles away from the likes of Ipswich and Leicester City. But it'll be very interesting to see what team is lined up for Tottenham this weekend, as they've actually progressed really well in the Europa League. They will be facing uh, Bodo Glimt, which is the Norwegian side, next Thursday in their first leg of that semi-final fixture. So will Ange Postecoglou rotate and field a sort of not a second team, but a bit more of a different selection and try to save his best players for this Europa League tie, which would make sense because that's probably the only thing that they're fighting for this season. They have no chance of getting relegated, and their position isn't going to improve that much. To be brutally honest, so why not put all your eggs in one basket and go for the Europa League and maybe just win a piece of silverware for Tottenham. So it'll be very interesting to see what team is lined up uh, from Ange Postecoglou this weekend. Now, in terms of team news, Liverpool, Trent Alexander-Arnold could be in contention to start this fixture after scoring the winner against Leicester City. Arne Slot confirmed some good news in the press conference earlier this morning that Joe Gomez is close to returning to training, and so he could be involved in some capacity before the season concludes, which is good. It's a good thing for Joe Gomez to at least get a bit of game time or some minutes before the season concludes. And from Tottenham, in terms of their sort of team news right now, Heung-min Son is currently on the sidelines alongside Dragusin, and there aren't really no other fitness concerns for Ange and his team. So could be a best squad rotation there. Who knows? In terms of Liverpool's form, of course, we've been fantastic. We haven't played to our best level, of course. We've got 4 wins and 1 defeat, and that defeat was against Fulham, which definitely came out a bit of a surprise. So Liverpool in good form. Liverpool know what to do. Uh, get something out of the game this Sunday, and we're Premier League champions. So happy days for the Reds this weekend onwards. So let's go and predict the lineups for both teams. We'll start with the away team, and then we can talk about Liverpool in more detail. And let's go with the Tottenham team. So there we go. So this is the Tottenham formation. I expect to play a 4-2-3-1 formation. It could be a 4-3-3 because they have alternated between the two setups in recent weeks. I'll stick with 4-2-3-1 because that's what I'm kind of used to seeing Tottenham play. As you can see on my screen, we've already got an ad for the Liverpool Tottenham game, so that's when it's a special encounter this weekend. In terms of the goalkeeper for Tottenham, it will be Vicario in goal, who's not had the best of performances in recent weeks, has produced a couple of calamity moments. So maybe that's something Liverpool can take advantage of. I.e., Szoboszlai takes a few long shots, something along those lines where you disrupt the keeper's rhythm or lack of confidence at the minute. So that's something we can definitely try and do. On the right hand side, Pedro Porro. Now for me, I'm on scout watch for Pedro Porro because I feel like he could be a target for us in the summer. He's a player that I really like. So I will be interested to see how he performs against us, and hopefully, if he has a good performance, it could, you know, sway some Liverpool fans in terms of being convinced that he is probably the guy that we go for. And it could, of course, change the fortunes at the club where maybe we move him up the shortlist for that right back position because we have to acquire a new right back, especially if Trent Alexander-Arnold leaves. It needs to be done. So for me, Pedro Porro will be on scout watch this Sunday. Who else? I think it will be Romero and Van So I think they'll go strong, sort of in their defensive position. So Romero on the right hand side, Van Van Van, and there we go on the left, and then left back. I think Udogi returns to the lineup. Now in midfield, Bentancur, I think will be playing. It was alongside either Papasa or Bergvall. I'm going to go for. I might go for Sa. I think they may save Bergvall for the Europa League fixture. I think they'll go for Sa for this one. Um, I think they'll rest Kulusevski because Heung-min Son isn't available. So I think they'll go for Johnson on that right hand side. Matisse Tell, of course, they're long signing from January. He'll play on the left wing. Is he there? Where is he? There he is. And in the number 10 role, I would go for Madison. And up top, between Richarlison and Solanke, I'd go for Solanke. And some may suggest that Andrew will rest Solanke to save him for that Europa League tie because he didn't play in the last fixture. I feel like it might be a good one to reintroduce him, try and find that rhythm again. Because if he manages to nick a goal in this fixture, then it gives him that boost of confidence going into the Europa League tie. So I'd go for Solanke for this one and have Richarlison available off the bench. So that's my predicted lineup. Still a strong team. It's not heavily rotated, as you can tell, but I feel like there will be certain players that will present different problems for us from previous encounters. So Matisse Tell is the first time he's playing against Liverpool. Very electric on and off the ball. Has a decent shot on him, so he's going to be a live wire on that left hand side. Johnson, might not be easy on the eye in terms of skills and dribbling, but he's effective on the ball, and he's always finds himself in a good goal scoring position, and has scored plenty of goals this season. Bentancur has been a solid sort of inclusion, since he's returned from suspension. So, he has been solid in that midfield. Papasa will provide that energy in the midfield. And the back four is quite strong. Udogi Pedro Porro will provide a width on both flanks, and Van der Ven and Romero will be strong. So this is a strong lineup. It's not a lineup that I feel like we will walk the park or sweep to one side very easily. We'll definitely have to perform at a certain level because I feel like in recent games we haven't performed our best. So right now it may feel like we're on autopilot and just trying to gather the points. And if that happens this weekend, who cares? As long as we get a point, we secure that Premier League title. So that is the main thing. Now moving on to the predicted Liverpool lineup. In goal, no debate who starts there. Alisson will be the man between the sticks. Big question: does Trent start or does Bradley continue to play as a starting right back? It's an interesting one because some fans will quickly say that Trent shouldn't play at all because he hasn't committed his future to the club. Therefore, he should not be starting for the team, which I get to an extent, but I'm going to try and put emotion to one side. I will still go ahead with Bradley, only on the basis that Trent has just returned to full fitness, so it might be too soon for him to play, with longevity. So I would rather play Conor Bradley for an hour, and then if we need Trent, then he can come off the bench and produce the same impact or similar impact that he did over the weekend against Leicester City. So I'm going to go for Bradley to start this one. And for Bradley, we need to see how he performs against you know decent sides. Of course, Tell is a new player; he's just joined recently, but he's a very interesting young prospect. So that's going to be a great battle to see on that side of the pitch. On the other side, I'm going to go for Robertson. Even though I believe Simicast has started the last two games, but I think his experience will be vital in this fixture. And then I'm going to go for Van Dijk and Bernate to complete the defense. Double pivot. No, who's the player is going to be the usual duo. It will be Gravenberg and McAllister, if I can spell his name correctly. There you go. Alexis McAllister, Salah on the right hand side. So Bosley in the middle. I'm playing Gakpo on the left. I'm going to go for Luis Diaz up top. So that is my starting lineup. So feel free to drop a comment, let me know who you would start in this fixture. I think this team pretty much has everything that's needed. If we need, you know, some impactful subs off the bench, you've got Simicast that can come on for Robertson. And what impressed me in the last fixture or two about Simicast was his productivity on the ball. Very good passing, and his crossing, I think it's a bit underrated. Really, really quality deliveries inside the box. So he would be a good option for that left flank. Trent can also come on to replace Conor Bradley. In terms of the midfield, Harvey Elliott can come on if required. Jota, if we need a goal, he could be the one that we look to. There's an interesting rumor circling regarding Darwin Núñez that he hasn't been selected because if he makes one more start or I think it's one more appearance as well, we have to pay 5 million euros as part of the clauses that were inserted when we first signed Darwin Núñez from Benfica. I think Arne Slot pretty much said that that's not true. If it is the case, it doesn't affect his team selection. He will go with the best sort of players that he feels like is suited for this game. I don't expect Darwin Núñez to start, but he could come off the bench if required. So we've got some decent, players available off the bench to create chaos or affect the game in the positive. In terms of my score prediction, of course, I'm going for a Liverpool win, and the score prediction I'm going for is a 2-0 victory to the Reds. Now, in terms of the two goal scorers, I'm going to go for Mohamed Salah and Cody Gakpo. So that is my match preview. Just got a couple comments here. JK says, best role you know, walk along. Big up yourself, JK. Thank you for your comment. Thank you for tuning in. Abdul Rahim says, hi, Ozzy, JK in chat. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Big up yourself, Abdul. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for your comment and thank you for tuning in. And that is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning into the show. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. In terms of upcoming content, I will be doing a live watch along of this fixture. It's 4:30 p.m. UK time, so I'll be live from 4:20. We can discuss the lineups together and watch the game. And hopefully, it will be a celebrational show for us. And then we'll do a match reaction where I'll get a link pinned for you guys. So if you want to call in and have your say about the game, about the season, and you want to speak about and reflect how great the season has been, that is the platform for you guys to do that. So should be a monumental moment for us this weekend, which I'm sure we're all looking forward to. And that is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Take care, stay safe, and I hope to speak with you all very, very soon. Just before I go, I see one comment here from Abdul. Abdul says Eubank Junior versus Ben tomorrow, and Liverpool versus Spurs. 1 point it all takes to win the league. Definitely, I'm looking forward to that boxing match with Eubank and Conor Ben. Let me know who you think is going to win, Abdul, because split sort of opinions from some people. Of course, Eubank Jr. missed weight today by, I think it was like 0.22 grams or something along those lines. So crazy, and he has to pay $500,000. I think it's dollars as a fine, which is crazy. So should be an exciting match. So yeah, jam-packed weekend from a sports fan point of view. So yeah, looking forward to this weekend as always. Um, so that is the weight there, 160.05. So he's been over by 0.5, so half a pound. Crazy, absolutely crazy. But it is what it is. And then Conor Ben was 156. Conor Ben was always going to be, around that way. He wasn't going to get any close to 160. This is probably the highest he's ever been. He's naturally 147, so 156. He's probably comfortable at that weight. I think any heavier, he may have lost a bit of speed or might not be able to be as agile as he normally is in the ring. So should be a good encounter. But yeah, looking forward to the boxing, of course, looking forward to this big match on Sunday. And that is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Take care, stay safe, and I hope to speak with you all this Sunday. Goodbye.